Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tatsa Jaya Guru. Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhaka. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tatsa Jaya Guru. I would like all of you to recite along with me 3 times the auspicious monosyllable Omkara. As I always emphasize, while reciting, all of you should keep in mind this thought process. Let this collective sound of Omkara we generate from here in this ashram spread upon the whole earth and shower its benedictions on all the creatures upon the earth. This kind of a thought, sankalpa, creative feeling, every one of you must have. Very good, very good. Do it better. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tatsat Jaya Guru. Earlier also, all of you, or many of you, most of you, have been assembling here in the ashram on an occasion like this. The other occasion when so many people assemble is the Guru Purnima, which I consider to be the most holy and important day according to the Indian almanac, Panchangam. But people are yet to recognize its importance. We have to become nationalized in our thought process, and we should also understand more and more of our culture and heritage. Many of you do not know that in our constitution there is a very special line, a particular clause in which it is mentioned fundamental duty. It is listed under the fundamental duty, which says that to value and preserve the culture and the rich culture and heritage of our country. Mind you, it is a fundamental duty. No citizen will be able to live in our country without fulfilling this fundamental duty. So in the matter of imbibing our culture and heritage and also instilling it so far as the family is concerned in the children who are born there and make them really national, a citizen of the country, nobody can offer any excuse. It is a fundamental duty, mind you. And the words are to value and preserve the rich culture and heritage of our country. I have started speaking about it now and then, but I generally speak about it when I have to, when I have to counter the arguments put forward sometimes by the government officers, income tax people, etc. What are you saying? Our culture and heritage have to be valued and preserved by every citizen. And what is our culture and what is our heritage? Everything that you do in the Hinduistic way comes under our culture. You know the definition of culture? The intellectual achievement of people practiced collectively is the meaning given in Oxford Dictionary. Intellectual achievement, mind you. In anything of a culture, you don't have to seek any further reason. It is the intellectual achievement means it is rational and therefore it is compulsory. It doesn't need anything else to support it, strengthen it. It has to be rational. Otherwise it will never be culture. Culture is something that has been operating for yugas, for countless millennia. How can it survive unless it has substance in it, tenability in it, rationality, compulsoriness? So this is something that I thought of mentioning to you now. I am a Swami, as all of you know. How did I become a Swami? And why did I become? Is a point many of you would not have thought about at all. And as a Swami, as a Sannyasin, what am I doing? I am doing the fundamental duty, as I told you. This is so far as our constitution and nationality are concerned. Otherwise, I am born in India. I love this country. There is nothing greater than having been born here. And I would like to live as a real son of the soil. This will be possible only when I imbibe the culture of the land, the heritage of the land, and after imbibing, I try to perfect the whole process as much as possible, then also share it with others. The ideal of sannyasa is Atmano mokshaya jagadhitaya cha. These are Sanskrit words. Atmano mokshaya. It is for gaining freedom for oneself. What do you mean by freedom? Freedom means, what kind of a freedom are you referring to? Can we get freedom from oxygen and air? Can we get freedom from water and earth? Can we get freedom from sunlight? Then what is the freedom that we are speaking about? In spiritual matters, we refer to only inner things, never external and physical matters. So it is a freedom that arises within us. Freedom from what? From the shackles of the mind and the intelligence. We have a mind, we also have an intelligence. But our mind and intelligence are not functioning properly. As a result of which, we have undue grief, undue doubt, undue delusion, undue fear, undue anxiety. So many things are there, all produced by the mind. Doubts are produced by the intelligence. So the freedom that sannyasa proposes to gain is actually freedom from the shackles of the mind and the intelligence. This is so far as individually the sannyasin is concerned. But everybody's life is not merely individualistic. He is born in a family. So he has a relationship with the family members. The family itself is a member of the society. So he is equally connected to the society. The society or a social segment is a segment that constitutes the nation. And the nations constitute the globe. So in the sannyasin, his need is freedom. That freedom is characterized with joy, satisfaction, fullness, ecstasy. All these are the outcomes of freedom. Then so far as his relationship with the society, including the family and the rest, is concerned, what is that? Jagad hitayaja. Do whatever is beneficial, helpful to the society. So a sannyasin's life is for gaining freedom. This freedom or moksha, what is it? It is not something objective or physical. So in gaining freedom, we don't look out for anything from the world. It's an inner attainment. Because it is an inner attainment, we don't grab anything at all. So a seeker becomes a sannyasin, knowing clearly well that his objective is inner and spiritual, not physical and material. So far as the society is concerned, after gaining his freedom, for which he doesn't depend upon any external factor, he starts doing what is necessary and beneficial to the society. That is what I have been doing. But how did I become a sannyasi? We have got a great culture, as I told you. And our culture is clearly recorded. Most of you may think that we have superstitions, assumptions and the like, but it is not so. We have got something called Prasthanatrayam or Prasthanatrayi. It is a collection of 3 basic texts. One is the Upanishads, written. Another is Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, taken from it. The third is Brahma Sutras. These 3 go by the name Prasthanatraya. I would like all of you to know that this Prasthanatraya is the sole foundation of our Hinduism, Hindu culture and heritage. It is all written. If it is written, it means that there was an author and the author was our own predecessor. Once you have something written before you, can you doubt it? And can you doubt the author? So it was written by an author who was our own predecessor at one time. I knew about it. What? Atmano mokshartham jagadhidaya. So I wanted to become a sannyasin, not from nothing and nowhere. I wanted to have some kind of an enlightenment. This enlightenment, where from will I get? I can only get it from one who is already enlightened, not from another person. Without the guidance and close association of an enlightened person, you will never be able to approach enlightened, because it is a subjective process. You have to become enlightened about yourself. You can see only the body. You cannot see your mind. You cannot see your intelligence. You cannot see the ego. So this is a whole process of knowledge, pursuit of wisdom. It's a wisdom pursuit. In the Prasthanatraya, wisdom alone is mentioned. We call it, it's a voyage of knowledge. Voyage of knowledge. When you start pursuing a knowledge, it becomes like a Tirtha Yatra. The intelligence begins with its quest and pursues the quest. And that pursuit itself is the sadhana. And finally, you get the goal of it. So far as we are concerned, the intelligence takes up the pursuit. And what is the goal? Realizing one's own self, the I. So the whole process, as well as its fruition and fulfillment, both are within the body, in the sphere of the mind, intelligence and ego. So I always call it as a mento-intellectual pursuit, to bring about refinement in the mind and intelligence themselves, and finally to make you free. To find out the source of the very thought process, source of the very existence, the source of very knowledge. This is what spirituality and spiritual pursuit are. Now the question is, where is the enlightened man of enlightenment? I did not know about all this, what I am speaking now. So I went to Calcutta, along with my brothers, seeking a professional life. But there, very soon, I happened to meet my Gurudev, whose picture is here. Meeting him meant all the change in my life. When I met him, and whatever transpired between me and him, when I prostrated before him in the traditional Kerala manner, he lifted me up and then gave me a kiss on my forehead. This one episode got deeply into my heart, and from then on, my whole life started getting transformed. I had religion, I had tradition, I had devotion, but I never knew what spirituality was. So my brother brought him to our flat saying that he is a great Siddha Purusha. First time I heard that word. I was wondering, what is it that makes an old man to lift me up and kiss me on my forehead? I had no memory of either my father or my mother or anybody embracing me or kissing me. But here is an old man coming for the first time. We are strangers. So what is this human relationship? There appears to be something far beyond what we are used to. We are used to what? Father and mother, brothers and sisters, and friends. This is all our relationship. But here is a relationship. Here is a relationship which is totally different. What is the ground for it? What does he have and what do I have? By virtue of which this kind of an intimacy and owningness. So my mind started thinking. I kept the association. He stayed with us for more than a month in the flat. When I look back, I think we must have done many wrongs. The way he should have been welcomed and comfortably kept, I don't think we kept. My brother and myself, only 2 male members were there. The other brother who was married, family, that was not there. So, let that be. I kept contact with him, and at one point of time I sought Diksha from him. After getting the Diksha, I got something now to hold on to. It was all chanting God's name or chanting stotras and hymns, Vishnu Sahasranama and so many other things. All of that. But where is the link? Link with what I want to achieve. So when I was initiated into a sadhana, what is that sadhana? Sit in a place, close your eyes, try to delve into your own mind and heart. Here is a help for it. This was the sadhana. So after having my first sitting with him, I came back to my flat. Right then in the veranda, I was absorbed. Several hours, maybe 3, 4 or 5 hours later, I got up. So after getting Diksha from him, it was some kind of a meteoric travel. I told him I would not read any books, so don't ask me to read books. I will do this sadhana and get at the realization which I want to have. He smiled and said, when the time comes, the book will come to your table and you will start reading. And it happened also. What was my guru like? He had no secular activity at all. No secular activity. He was mostly spending his time on Shirshasana. Sometimes play sitar and also harmonium and sing. Keeping in the same room, leaving it for having his bath and toilet purpose, nothing else. How do you find such a person? Where to find? And he was doing it in the name of spirituality and spiritual enlightenment. What do you think of the influence of such a person in a young seeker like me? Can you think about it? All of you are coming and people are saying, Swamijis, "Hey bache, chup baithna, daudna mat, baito, chup rehna." Swamiji is very active. Swamiji is very active. You are always seeing an active Swamiji. But I found a totally sedentary person standing on the head several hours a day. He would even play the sitar, reversing it. standing on his head. So there was a lot for me to think. And the more I entered into spirituality, the more I understood why he was sitting like that. So my Guru was not an active and a vibrant Guru. He was active and vibrant, very sensitive. When you ask him, even when he is on Shirshasana, if he is called, he will respond and get up. Every letter we had written, he would immediately answer it. And then keep it, pin it, he will press it there. All the letters were there, very sensitive, very stable handwriting. In a postcard, he will write 4 lines. In the same postcard, he will write 40 lines also. He will say, "You are welcome." He's a wonderful person. When I started doing my sadhana and also reading books, I started understanding the subject. It was very, very easy for me. That unfoldment was very simple, beautiful and easy. Then I used to go to him taking a day's leave or 2 days leave from the office and spend. And what was I seeing? A still person, absorbed in himself, absorbed in himself. Naturally, this influenced me. I had the spirit of Sanyasa. And that spirit of Sanyasa every time got ignited when I saw him. We did not have prolonged conversations, but we had dialogue whenever there was a need for it. So there was no question of any doubt for me. There is somebody to speak and clarify it. So far as inspiration is concerned, he was working in Kasipur gun and shell factory as an engineer. He left the job optionally and remained at home. What is this? Leaving the job and remaining still for years and years and years. So it made me think greatly. I used to ask him, whenever there is problem or anything like that, clarity was there. I found that he had read all our scriptures. All the books were in Bengali script, so I had no access to them. So every time I took something, he will quote some verse or the other. In the Bengali accent, it was very cheerful for me to listen to him, especially the Bengali accent, Sanskrit. Once, there was a question about the mind. So for the first time, I heard from him, "Chanchalam hi manak Krishna, pramati belavadridham, tasyaham nigraham manye, vayoriva sudushkaram." I asked him, how to attain concentration? Oh, concentration. My mind is always desultory. Then he said, "Chanchalam hi manak Krishna, pramati belavadridham, tasyaham nigraham manye, vayoriva sudushkara." Arjuna tells Krishna, I had not read Gita at that time. He said, mind is chanchala, desultory. Pramati belavadridham. It is turbulent like a cyclone. Very strong also. To restrain the mind, tasyaham nigraham manye, vayoriva sudushkara. It is like restraining powerful wind. I did not speak a word. I got the message. This is how I learned from him. Chanchalam hi manak Krishna, pramati belavadridham, tasyaham nigraham manye, vayoriva sudushkaram. So the control of the mind is very, very hard. Therefore, how to attempt it? What is the secret? Now I can speak on the mind like flowing water. But that time I questioned. So he answered me. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Ba. No doubt, he was answering. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Mind is very difficult to restrain. It is always vibrant. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. By consistent practice and dispassion, it can be controlled. Are you following me? By consistent practice and dispassion. What is passion? All of you have it in abundant measure. What? All the things of the world and attractions towards them. Sannyasi generally shaves off his head and beard. Will you be able to do it? No. Americans are doing it now. Any object in this world, nothing enters your mind. Then what is it that you are looking for? You purchase a car and keep it in the garage. A child is born, he is separate from you, he runs about in his own man. Is there any object which will enter our mind? Certainly not. Everything remains separately. And what is the nature of the object? Everything is transitory, changeful, fleeting. So the fleeting objects, how can it be your attraction? Are you not a fool? If at all you want to have something sustainable. Have something that will not change and perish. If you want to be constantly happy, the only way is to have something that will remain forever. All the things in this world, including sun and moon, earth, everything, they are all transitory. So with your intelligence, if you approach the subject, you can only be dispassionate. You can never be passionate. So the dispassion is the key to control the mind. What is the dispassion? Including our body, everything is changeful, transitory. We have got a transitory body, but we also have a non-transitory soul. The I in you, has it ever changed? You started saying I at the age of 1.5 or 2, and you continue to say. If you take pictures of the body every year or every 6 months, you will find the child's body and the elderly body totally different. So much of change has taken place. But the changeless thing is the I. That I alone will give you joy, consistent joy. So the dispassion. Somebody wanted me to speak about dispassion. Ma pointed it out. What is dispassion? There are so many shlokas available. If you want to develop dispassion, tell me. I will give you half a dozen shlokas by reciting which the mind will become more and more dispassionate. More and more dispassionate. Go on chanting it. If you say dispassion, it will not come. Put the mind, ignite it with ideas and thoughts and evaluations of dispassion. When you ignite the mind with these thoughts, automatically it will be ignited. There are so many verses. If I chant starting, it will take a lot of time. So I am not doing it. Another time, we had a discussion. Then he quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya idi manyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakriti-swam niyokshiti. This is a verse in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna makes concluding remarks. This is one of them. Yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti manyase mithyaisha vyavasayaste prakriti swam niyokshidi. I don't know exactly when he gave me this verse. Maybe he told me something and I said, I will not do, or I don't like to do something like that. I don't remember it. So in this verse, he quoted saying that, will you follow me when I say, Yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti manyase. Arjuna, listen to me well. Ahankaram ashritya. Taking to ahankara. What is ahankara? You can say anything with your mouth. I will become a king. I will become rich. When? In 10 years. What is the trouble in saying all this? This is ahankara statement. Unfortunately or fortunately, you have an eye and you have a tongue. You also have a mind. When the child is asked to do something, no, I will not, I will not, I will not. This negative statement, this negation, na yotsya iti manyase. Arjuna used the ahankara to say, Krishna, I will not fight this war. I will retreat. What was Arjuna saying? 13 years he has been preparing for the war. He has got Pashupastra, he has got Gandiva, and he wanted to fight the war. 13 years of preparation. After that he has come there. Seeing Bhishma, Drona and relatives from both sides, he said, Krishna, I will not fight. I will retreat. Anybody can say this. To make a statement from the mouth and to act accordingly, these two are different. An ocean of difference is there. So, courting ahankara, you say, I will not fight. Mithyaisha vyavasayaste. This statement, this resolution, this resolve itself is illusory. It is not factual. It is only a sentence of words. Prakriti swam niyokshadi. How is it that you are breathing? Arjuna, you are breathing because of your wish and will. Your heart beats because of your wish and will. You walk because of the wish and will, or you have legs to walk. The heart is ceaselessly beating. The lungs are bellowing. All these are arrangements made by you or your father. The earth is revolving in its own axis and going around the sun. Who is at the back of it? So as long as your heart beats, lungs bellow, and your mind thinks, memory is there, 30 years of preparation have gone into, you cannot say, I will not fight. Prakriti tvam niyokshidi. Nature, the complex nature, including the Panchabhutas, that will force you to fight. Are you with me when I say this? Huh? Force you to fight. It is not a play of words, Arjuna. The mind is invisible. Tendencies are invisible. Inner compulsions are invisible. The body is inert. What acts through the body is the mind and the intelligence. They have their structure. They have their constitution. They have their tendencies, compulsions, persuasions. Prakriti swam niyokshidi. That Prakriti will force you to fight. So I don't have to repeatedly tell you. Try whether you can fight or not. You know, it was great wisdom. I did not tell him anything. I looked into the Gita, understood the verse. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says is, Prakriti consists of 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And the 3 gunas alternately, one after the other, persuading and compelling you to act. It is in the sphere of nature, in the hands of nature. Can you stop breathing? Can you stop walking? Never raise your will unnecessarily. Prakriti-swam niyokshini. Now applying it, ever since my Baba said it, it was in my mind. So I found that the whole of my life, I am doing only two things. What is that? I learned not to do what I want. Not to do and to do what I don't want. Not to do what I like and to do what I don't like. So I can easily adjust myself with the likes and dislikes. This is what I learned. Nothing else. Throughout my life, this is the only achievement. I can do anything which I don't like, and I cannot do anything that I like. Very simple, no problem. I can adjust with anybody then. This is the way I would like to do. What do you say? I don't like it. Okay, let it be done in your way. So I am free, no problem. So this verse has got immense meaning. Then what was transpiring in my association with my Baba? What was transpiring? Krishna repeatedly says in the Bhagavad Gita, many people listening to me and following me have become like me. Are you following? Huh? Many people listening to me and following me have become like me. So I have become like my Guru. By seeing him, by liking him, by listening to him, I have become like him. With no effort at all, only by seeing him. What did he do? He left his job. And what is he doing? Nothing. I also left. And I do nothing. I never do. Generally, all of you are doing. What for? Primarily to make out a living. Both ends meet. All of you are earning. What is the purpose of earning? To look after yourself. To have provision. Whereas a person like me, Swami Bhumananda, I do nothing secularly. Nobody gives me any income. I give lectures, but not nominated or appointed by anybody. We give lectures freely, naturally, irresistibly. No remuneration is sought and no remuneration is given. So where is the wish and the will there? The entire ego, why should you say? As the heart is beating, as the lungs are breathing, as the mind is thinking, as the intelligence is understanding, eyes are seeing, ears are hearing, legs are walking, hands are holding, our life, everything will be done by nature. I always say the python, Malambambili, it cannot run, it cannot creep fast, so it will remain wherever it is and open the mouth. When an insect comes, it will close. But that species has not become extinct. Nature has made a provision for everybody to live in this world. If you have a job and you have a salary, nature will not look at you. You have the job and you have the salary. But leave the job and with no salary walk, nature will look after you. How? Don't ask. So many sannyasins are there in our land. Nobody has starved in light. There are many people who like to feed a sannyasin much more than feed their own family members. So this is also a way. Krishna says, people listen to me and have become like me. So I listen to my Baba and I have become like him with no effort at all, seeing him, hearing him, observing him, observing him, observing him, loving to spend some time with him. Whenever possible, a little service also I do. Many of you are saying, how to do this? Why don't you take leave and come in the ashram, to the ashram and stay here for 1 month, 15 days, 16 days? You will never leave your family members. Pep, pep. Crocodile hold. What is this? How long are you going to be? All the family members are transitory. You also are transitory. Why don't you take a leave? See, I have been speaking for more than 60, 68 years. Always I have been speaking, never with my plan. Now we are going to America. From Singapore to California, it is a 17 hours journey. So one Swamiji from Ramakrishna Mission said, Swamiji, I am a little anxious about your crossing the poles. So if I am not well, I will not go. The ticket is booked, date is fixed. If, suppose before that my body falls, will I go? If I become sick, can I go? So I always tell Ma, I will not come, Ma, if I am not well. If I am well, I will try to come. We are going, and in the plane we will be lying or sitting, lying or sitting. My trouble is why I stand and walk. So I will be sitting and lying. So what can be done? Even then, when I go to the toilet, I go, while I come back, I fall. And co-passengers, they start getting up from their seat. I say, don't worry, there are people to look after me, I will be all right. So what can be done? So I think there is a lot in saying, Prakriti is looking after everybody. And let us have no ego and assertion to say, I will do this or I will not do that. It is that ego that has to be dropped. This is called renunciation, Sanyasa. Dropping the ego is the real sannyasa. The Gita itself is a book on sannyasa. In the last chapter, Arjuna is asking, what is tyaga and what is sannyasa? The whole chapter is an answer to that. So the message of Gita is renunciation. It is abandonment. It is relinquishment. Relinquishment of what? Relinquishment of mental and intellectual assertions. Transcend the two and live comfortably, edifying yourself and enriching the others as well. The whole ashram is living on this, nothing else. So how did you become a sannyasin, and what did you learn from your guru and all that? My question is, with the association of the guru, the sight of the guru, understanding him more and more, with association, the transformation and the resolve, both of them came irresistibly, unavoidably, indispensably, with no difficulty at all. In the whole of my life, spiritual life, I have had no problems at all. So many qualities, developing qualities. If I hear that this is a quality, oh, is it a quality? It means my mind accepts it. And it starts displaying it. With no effort, you can have qualities. With no effort, you can have virtues. Try to have a pure and a simple mind. Let the mind be simple. Let it be innocent. You will find the process of refinement is irresistible. Shall I stop? মা বলছেন বাংলাতে কথা বলতে হবে। বাংলাতে কি বলবো বাবা? আমি বলেছি এখানে আমি কি করে সন্ন্যাস নিয়েছি, আর আমার জীবনে বাবার স্বাধীনটা কি, ইনফ্লুয়েন্সটা কি, এই সম্বন্ধে একটুখানি কথা বলেছি। বাবা একবার আমাকে ভগবদ্গীতা থেকে একটা শ্লোক বলেছে। শ্লোকটা কি? यद अहंकारम आश्रित्य न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते प्रकृति स्वाम नियोक्ष्यति। প্রথমবার আমি শুনেছি, সেই সময় আমি গীতা দেখলাম না, পরে গীতা দেখেছি, পড়েছি, সব করেছি। সেই জন্য এই শ্লোক যখন শুনেছি, কখন শুনেছি আমার মনে নেই। অহংকার নিয়ে তুমি কিচ্ছু করবে না। অহংকার নিয়ে অর্জুন, তুমি যদি বলছো আমি যুদ্ধ করব না, এই বলা একেবারে মিথ্যা, সেটা ঠিক নয়, সত্যবদ্ধ নয়, সেটা একেবারে খারাপ, ভুল। কেন? প্রকৃতির গুণ খুব স্ট্রং, খুব শক্ত, প্রবল। সেই প্রবল প্রকৃতির প্রভাব নিয়ে তোমাকে করতে হবে। এত বছর তুমি যুদ্ধ করতে চাইছিলে, আবার এখন বলছো আমি করব না। আরে করব না বলার জন্য কথা তো সবাই তো বলতে পারে, কিন্তু যুদ্ধ না করে তো বসে থাকা তোমার সম্ভব কি? কখনো হবে না, এটা ঠিক নয় বলেছি। সেই থেকে আমি সব শিখেছি বাবা। আর আমার জীবনে কি হলো, আমি খুব এক্সপার্ট। কিসের জন্য? আমি যা পছন্দ করি সেটা আমি করতে পারবো না, সেই জন্য যা পছন্দ করি যদি দরকার হয় আমি করব না, যা পছন্দ না করি সেটা আমি করতে পারি। সেই জন্য আমার জীবনে খুব সব সরল সহজ হয়েছে। যদি আমি কিছু চাইছি, অন্যজন বলছি সেটা ঠিক নয়, করো, আমি ছেড়ে দেবো। যদি চাইছি না কিন্তু আমাদের সঙ্গে যা থাকছে বলছে এটা দরকার, ঠিক আছে, কোনো কষ্ট নেই। মন খুব শান্ত, গম্ভীর, আর বুদ্ধি খুব স্পষ্ট, এইরকম আমি থাকতে পারি। এই বাবার কথা থেকে আমার মনে এই সব ঢুকলো, এটা বুঝতে পারলাম। ঠিক আছে। गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम गोविंद गोविंद। नमः पार्वती पदये हर हर महादेव। हरि 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 ओम तत्सत्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। जय गुरु।